Hey there, and welcome to One Email, Two Takes. You might notice I'm here solo today, so today's email is only going to have one take. That said, the usual way this goes is me and my colleague, Christina Finseth. We take an email that we've either received or that a sales rep has asked us for help with, and we break it down. We do a full tear down of that email, and then we provide our takes on how we would rewrite it and walk you, the viewers, through it. And so a quick intro on who I am. I'm Will Allred. I'm one of the co-founders at a company called Lavender. We help sales reps write better emails faster. Our product sees millions of emails every month. And so I get to share a lot of the findings that tie back to what makes for a great email. So today I've got a interesting email. It's a bit of an overwhelming email to say the least. So I'll share my screen here, and so you can see. I'll read through it. Hi, first name. Saw that you're leading the global revenue operations at account name, and account name just released its cloud native platform. Also, notice there's been a 38% increase in sales job openings in the past year. Congrats on the growth. With being a leader in the DaaS space, where customers are able to easily build and scale their data use cases, not sure if these initiatives are important to you, but curious to know. Bullet 1, how are you getting insight into what features analytics the market is needing now or in the next 6 to 18 months? How often are competitive account name and competitive account name showing up in deals? How are you tracking your sales team's ability to position the company name to free growth in enterprise accounts? I'm just trying to connect the dots here, but if account name is continuing to grow, I'm assuming there is a broader initiative to uncover the unfiltered voice of your customer and get a 360-degree view into your revenue impacting data so you can accelerate growth and drive more revenue. Would you be interested in a purely educational conversation to learn more about blank? Thanks again, best sales rep. So obviously, I think there's way too much going on here. When I first read through this email, I thought, well, one, this is just like really long. And then I started to actually dig into what's going on within here. And I realized, one, there's a lot of like redundancies, phrases that didn't necessarily need to be included. Not sure if these initiatives are important to you, but curious to know, right? You could have just said one of these things and you could have gotten the same point across. Just trying to connect the dots here. There's a lot of overlap within the email, so it's unnecessarily wordy. The other piece to this is it just reads as templated. I hate the use case of saw that you have a certain job title at a certain company. It just like, it's very templated, right? Because I can easily automate that within a process. And so your prospect quickly realizes that that's the case. And then you add in the bullet points here, it creates for a very visually obvious like sales message. I don't have to actually read through it to know that I'm about to be sold. Another piece here that just like kind of stood out to me. Would you be interested in a purely educational conversation? It's okay. You don't need to apologize for what you're doing as a sales rep, right? I think we get into this this notion that we need to take the pressure off and be less salesy. But if you're actually coming with a real reason to reach out and you're being relevant, you don't need to take your foot off the gas pedal. Just ask if it would help their team. A shorter, more punchy CTA could definitely be used here. The other thing that really stood out to me was the overwhelming amount of personalization. And so one of the things I did in the rewrite was I still tried to pull all those things in because I wanted to keep it still true to the original meaning of the message. But you've got their job title. You've got an event, which is, they've just released a new product. Then you've also got an increase in sales job openings. 3 notes of personalization here. that could be weaved in a much more natural way, as opposed to here's an observation, here's an observation, here's an observation. Yeah, all of that stuff is just like you're beating a dead horse here at this point. Like, I know you reached out to me, I get it. The next piece, this with being a leader in the DaaS space, one of the things that comes to my mind here is, yeah, how relevant is this piece of information? You don't need to like compliment me, similar to congrats on the growth, right? Complimenting me along the way, it just like doesn't add anything to the message. Then the last piece that I really wanted to dig into are the bullet points themselves. You're running like an inquisition on the person on the other end. What we see within our data is when you start to ask a bunch of questions like this, your reply rate is going to go down. Ideally, you want to ask 0 to 1 questions. And I realize 0 is a bit counterintuitive for a lot of folks, but you're reaching out cold. The implication is likely that they need to respond. One last thing I wanted to show you is just a couple pieces. One, the complexity of this writing is way off the charts. So I'm going to zoom in here. When I ran it through our own product, we saw that it's written at or beyond like a 10th grade reading level. And yeah, that is just like one of the #1 killers for reply rates. It's just too dense. All of this information is not getting absorbed. And it's because the sentence structure, it's just like the whole thing is just too dense for people to really understand. The other thing is the mobile formatting. So let me show you what it looks like here on a mobile phone. When I pull it up on a mobile phone, this is how your prospect is likely going to view your email. And if you don't tell me this looks overwhelming, like it's a lot. It's a lot to absorb, right? The bullet points, these big bulky paragraphs, there's a lot going on. So yeah, and I say that knowing that you're 8 times more likely to have your first read through of an email on your phone. I'm holding mine up. Yours is probably right next to your computer as well. So want to go through the rewrite. The rewrite I didn't get a subject line when I reviewed this email. So I put one in, which was cloud native messaging. Given they launched a cloud native platform, I decided to lead with that as my personalization, right? So instead of starting off with, saw you have this job title at this company, I would just say, whatever the first name is, I saw you just released a new cloud native platform. Is that why you've got so many sales roles open? As you're pushing that new product, I imagine it would be helpful to know how those conversations are going. Our company can help with this. Case study company was surprised when we uncovered some unexpected competitors and objections. They told us they were able to pivot their messaging much quicker as a result. Think this could help from your friendly sales rep. Now, what I'm trying to do here is really boil it down and simplify it to its, main elements. One is I'm reaching out because I noticed that they launched a new product. That's really what the core offering ties back to, is being able to understand, what's going on within that new launch. And being able to pull in the fact that there's a bunch of sales roles open, that's a great additional layer of personalization that you can throw in that really shows them like, hey, I didn't just like pull one fact, I pulled 2 to really show you that like this is a relevant message. The other piece here that I wanted to speak to is the transitions within. So cloud native platform, sales roles open, as you're pushing that new product. Those 3 clauses right there really transition well together in the sense that I saw you have this platform. I'm guessing that's why you have so many sales roles open. And then I'm talking about pushing that new product. So I'm getting to what I want to get to, but I'm taking them in a very logical flow. A lot of times what sales reps would do is they would say, I saw you just released a new cloud native platform. Is that why you've got so many sales roles open? I imagine it would be helpful to know how those conversations are going. And the pushing the new product creates that logical next step for the next sentence. And then you can just flat out state that we can help with it. You don't need to get into all the different facets of how you can help. You just need to let them know that you can. And then last but certainly not least, add some credibility to that discussion. Maybe you could rephrase this as, we helped X company with a new product launch, period. They were surprised when we uncovered some unexpected competitors and objections. They told us that they were able to pivot the messaging much quicker as a result. And then I think this could help. Very simplified CTA, but the point is just to get to the point much faster. And just so you can see how that translates back to like a mobile phone or really the complexity score. Just want to show it really quickly. Let me delete this real quick. And then I'll throw in native messaging. So you'll see the score update shortly, but you can see here on a mobile phone, that's just like so much easier to view. First off, you don't have to scroll, which please, nobody wants to. As soon as you see the scroll, it's almost intimidating to the viewer, right? It feels like it's too long. The other piece here is just like the formatting is a lot less dense. Then last but certainly not least, we reduced that complexity score down from a 12th grade reading level to an 8th grade reading level. And while that might not seem like much, taking an email from a 10th grade reading level down to a 5th grade reading level, we've seen over and over again results in 31% more positive replies. So taking it from a 12th to an 8th, ideally that's going to have a huge impact on that response rate. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, I would certainly recommend you subscribe to the Sales Hacker newsletter. Christina and I drop these videos once a week to help you get better at writing emails and hopefully doing it faster. Well, I enjoyed it. Until next time, thank you.